Attention! I'm just about to bring out our host for today. His name's Ben, he's the TV critic for The Age. He's also a terrible prisoner tragic, so if you could give it up to Ben.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. My name's Ben, I'm the top dog for today. That's a Prisoner reference. Has anyone here ever seen Prisoner? Good show. February 1979 was a very special month in Australian history. I was born, and then a couple of weeks later, Prisoner started. 35 years later, everyone still loves it, probably because, unlike a lot of other shows of the time from Australia, it was good, and it was different. It changed the landscape of Australia, and even now, looking back, when I watch it now, I'm kind of stunned by what a shock it must have been to have a show that was mostly about women, which was unusual. Secondly, not about glamorous women having affairs and mixing in high society, but about women living in prison, wearing overalls, beating the crap out of each other. And it survived. It went to UK, it went to America, and here we are, it's 2014. And there are people, seemingly of all ages, gathered together, people who must have been born after the show finished, I would have thought, some of you. It's really wonderful to see, and it's really wonderful, I'm sure, for the ladies who I'm about to bring out to know that they still mean so much to Australians. On my little phone here, I've got some acknowledgements to make before we really get started. We have to thank Travis and Corinne, who are hosting us. This is their place. They've done a great job setting this up. Thanks Matt and Ash, who are manning the buy-up in the shed over there. So if you need to get, cigarettes, biscuits, anything you need to trade, some great Prisoner Fan Club merchandise. It's the sale of the merchandise that helps fund events like this. So if you want to go and get some of that, it'd be fantastic. And also thanks to Terry, who is photographing us and filming us as we speak. I won't be watching it because I hate watching myself. But I'm sure other people get a lot of pleasure out of that. But most of all, I think we need to thank Roz. Yeah! As with her boundless energy, created this and kept it going. And I have this. This is actually the story of the Prisoner Fan Club. More amazing than the story of Prisoner. So I've got this down here because I want to get the details right. Now, you launched the club in Derby with your friend Tracy. It says here, membership reached nearly 10,000 in the first 6 months. That's true? That's 10,000. Wow, that is English people, not even people who didn't know what the hell they were talking about. So 10,000. That's doing a lot better than my Bob Morrison fan club. It's still at only 5 people after 10 years. So you were celebrities for a little while. You've said Z-list celebs. You might put yourself down a bit there, I'm sure. Britain is a good place for Z-list celebs, I think. Got a lot of room for them. August 89, you brought Val Lehman to the UK for a 3-month personal appearance tour, which ended up lasting 8 years. This was 89, that's 3 years after the show ended. And probably 5 or 6 years after Val had been on the show. People still that obsessed by it. Then you brought out Betty Bobbitt, Judy, Maggie Kirkpatrick, the Freak. And in 1990 you brought out Val Lehman, Amanda Muggleton, Carol Burns. Amanda Muggleton was Chrissy, Carol Burns, Frankie, and Sheila Florence, Lizzie Birdsworth, the old favourite, for the Great Escape Tour. But unfortunately, apparently, after the first show, Lizzie made her great escape. Kind of like in the show. Except unlike in the show, she didn't get out and then decide she preferred it back in and come back. She stayed out. But apparently her only appearance was captured on film, and you can buy that in the buy-up store. 2000 was the Prisoner 21st reunion, and the UK fan club flew 21 fans to Australia. Jeez, expensive?
Well, we didn't pay for it.
No. But you just booked their flights.
Yes.
No, but the fan club flew to the 21st reunion and take part in the official prisoner float at Mardi Gras. I think they still do. Do they still do that?
No, that was a one-off for the 21st.
That's a shame. Should bring that back. Let's make that happen. Next Mardi Gras.
But 7 days.
7 days. What after that? Get started now, guys. In 2001, Roz came to Oz for a holiday and stayed. And since then, has been running Partners in Crime, the online wing of the fan club, which is what's brought us all here today. 25th reunion was in 2004 with Val Lehman. But since then, every year, we come here. Who's been here before in previous years?
Yeah.
What have you?
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome, eh?
Sounds great.
It's a lot like that. I'm pretty sure that is the actual shed where Kath ran her shop. I think they brought it out. So, you know, be aware most proceeds go to the fan club and some to Kath Maxwell. Look, you're not really here to see me, I'm sure. They're here to see you, of course. All right, we're gonna bring out some spectacular women. Some women who have stuck in the mind for upwards of 3 decades now. First of all, I want to bring out someone incredibly nasty. Lying, cheating, murdering, a vicious slag. One of Wentworth's worst. Lou Kelly, Louise Syverson. How much acting was required to play
very
Lou Kelly?
little. I'm basically like that from early morning.
Did you prepare by, hanging people?
Yes, by driving speedily on the Toorak Road on the way out to Channel Hill.
Did you? So you're a criminal a long way back.
Road rage.
In my blood.
Louise, but you've mended your ways.
I have mended my ways
Yes.
sometimes.
Since
I haven't
Cake's
killed
going there.
anybody since 1983.
Cake's going there.
So that's good. You should have a badge. Just say that. Yeah, everyone. I'm sure you'll all want photos with Louise later on, and maybe she'd pose pretending to strangle you or something.
Well, exactly. It's been done before.
Louise Syverson.
They're coming over here, Trav. Going to pull her over here.
Next I want to bring out a woman who used to be friends with Louise but became a mortal enemy. Her mother knew her as Alice before Lou killed her. Stars Lurch, and we know her, Lois Colander. You were the
Tall as you, aren't I?
Yeah, it's impressive.
You're back.
No, that'd be awesome, actually.
There you go. Oh, you're a bit tall. There you go. Hey!
That's why I could never get cast on Prisoner. You were the muscle.
I was.
Everyone wanted
for
your
Louise.
services. You
Yes.
were for Louise.
No, Louise. No, I was Louise's right hand heavy.
Yes.
That's when
Everyone
I
was
went
terrified
into
of
living. But then I was reformed.
Yes.
Nancy-
That was an excellent
Nancy
sequence.
reformed me.
Yeah.
That was Julia. And then I became Rita's.
Yeah.
Right, I was a goodie then. I went
Yeah.
from being a baddie to being a goodie.
That was actually
But,
very moving. That bit, the bit in between when you were turned over a new leaf, but people didn't trust you, and I felt very sad.
Well, she killed my mother.
But to be fair, your brother deserved it.
Yeah, he raped me.
There's a lot of complications in the world of Prisoner.
Come on! But we.
Not all of your murders were that bad.
Oh, they were.
Did you ever kill anyone?
Yeah, we hung somebody.
That's right.
We did.
Yeah. Linda Stoner. Linda Stoner.
Oh, she was. If she was here, I'd spit on her.
All I can say was much easier being a goodie than it was being
Really?
a baddie, because of all those fight scenes, they were tough.
Would you like to be a goodie?
No. Oh no, I found
You
it
never reformed. That's been a good thing about you.
much more
more
interesting to play. Yeah, but it was easier.
Yeah.
Sometimes those fight scenes, having to do them in such a short time and make sure that nobody got hurt. I only ever hit somebody once. I hit Genevieve Lemon. I hit her right in the jaw with a right because she moved too far forward. Wasn't my fault. She leaned in too far. But there you go.
What can you do with that woman? Let's bring out the next.
Okay, I'll come over here. Oh,
Yeah, join you over there. Lurch.
we're meant to stand over here.
Yeah, sorry.
Next.
Sorry.
Absolutely.
In my opinion, the most adorable prisoner that Wentworth ever had. She must have been about 12 when she was first in the show, I think. And you know, the girl next door we all loved with the crazy hair. Bobby Mitchell, Maxine Klibingatis.
18. I was 18, yeah.
Yes. And such terrible things happened to you.
Yes, I escaped many times so that they
Escaped,
could
you were
get...
abducted, you were forced into sex slavery.
I got pregnant, had a miscarriage.
But you had a happy ending,
Yes.
which was nice. I'm sure
Yeah.
that's nicer than ending
Yeah.
up. So many people ended up shot or set on fire.
Yeah, I think it was left open so that I could come back in. So, but I chose not to. So yeah. Hi Trudy. Hello, darling.
Now you were always a goodie.
Yeah. No.
You were
Sort of.
You were never. Well, were you bad? Did you got to be bad sometimes?
She was naughty.
Drugs.
Didn't kill anyone.
Didn't kill anyone. Myra.
Myra is your top. So who likes Myra?
Yeah.
Who prefers B? Really? You like Rita?
Yeah.
You like Nora Flint? No. But you weren't bad. You were nice all the way. Like we always felt when you did something bad, it was just because you were a kid.
When I used to get,
You never will laugh.
some of the fans used to, the kids used to draw their image of, of my character Bobby, and they would draw, like every time it had a little a speech bubble that said, "Oh bloody hell!" She felt sorry for herself.
Yeah, she's moved over to
She was a whinger. I've looked at some of the facts. She's actually a bloody whinger. She was. Yeah. She just had a little mature. She did.
She did. She had a hard life.
She had wobbly steps. Bad
It's like being thrown against a wall and you feel little steps in back.
Yeah, it used to wobble. They used to wobble. Or like, I think it was a fight scene with Kylie Foster that had played Angel and myself in the toilet block, on the shower block. And when I look back at it now, she's got this huge padding, like she's got some sort of spinal issue happening. She's got this great big padding because it's back and you can see it, it's visible. But no one minded apparently. They still put it to air. So.
I don't know if anyone's ever noticed any unrealistic things on.
No, it's very truthful. It's a very realistic show. Everything about it is real.
See, of course, we're looking at it from now. Back then, it was probably the most realistic show.
At the time,
Yeah.
on some,
And
with some
in that it
issues,
seemed to,
yeah.
acknowledge that real things were happening in the real world, at least. There was, it was dealing with mental illness and drug abuse and not by just saying here's some evil people and we hope to stop cancer.
And, a lot of the characters really had a heart. They were written that way and they were played that way too. And that's what I think is really good about Prisoner. I think it's really nice to have that thing where, where Kelly,
Not often.
Maybe I was in the green room or something, paying attention. But most of them did. Look, they even gave a story like Ferguson, for the character of Joan Ferguson, Maxine Patrick. So yeah, that's excellent. Yeah.
Maxine Clement-Gator.
Thank you.
Speaking of heart, we now have the screw with the heart of gold, who also suffered from an unrequited love for the third Marty Jackson. Third, I think. There are a lot of them.
Yeah, third.
Desiree Smith was Delia Stout. You were close to the nicest screw there ever. You were almost a bit too nice. And I don't want to call you women. I don't want to call you clueless.
She was clear.
And you were distracted because you were in love with Marty number 3.
I know, but you know he was my brother in another show.
Really? Or after prison?
That was before prison.
Oh, so you knew him as your brother?
Yeah, I knew him as my brother. I know it wasn't right. But we don't know which one of the city was murdered in.
Oh, you still don't know? Could have been him? He looked like he was a nice screw, but he looked like
No, he wasn't.
he was the best Marty. The Martys got progressively better as they kept replacing the actors. But I wanted to ask you, from memory, Delia Stout was in the show, and then one episode she wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can you speculate about what happened to Delia? Because she just disappeared.
There was going to be an ending, but then they found out Prisoner was ending altogether.
Right.
And all of a sudden, like, they just changed all the storylines. Yeah.
Something in the roof.
She's still up there.
Should we go and tell that story? Because also Jane Goodwin went into solitary and came out with the burn. Should we go and tell the story?
It's a bit like Gerda Nicholson's son went up the stairs, never came down. Never saw him again.
And
you remember?
Jane Clifton went into solitary with straight hair and came out with a perm.
I don't remember that. There's a lot of them. You know, people walked in a door, never came out. They're still in there, scrabbling about.
Baby there.
They'll be waiting for their pay.
That's my beautiful baby.
Trying every door.
We went to the cinema. Gemma, what did we go and see at the drive-in? The crappiest movie ever. But it was a bit scary. And then we drove back past Prisoner.
Past prison. You
Pentridge,
drove past
the real
prison.
Pentridge prison. The gate's shut. And I panicked because I could sense that it was a bad place. Like we'd gone past this wall and this feeling came over me. And I said to my girlfriend, we need to get out of here. This is a bad place.
Time, Desiree.
And the door shut. We couldn't get out. And it was like a scene from Prisoner. I was on the bars screaming, help! Help us! Somebody help us! Get out of here! I was not spending the night in there.
I don't want to, make light of this, but that would have made a great story in the papers. Did you report it?
No, I didn't. I just screamed.
I'm
This
going
man who did, and actually, I think he picked up a lady of the night, and I'm positive he felt sorry for us.
What is this, 1927?
From a bordello.
Your experience on prison that leads you to think the lady of the night would be the one who feels sorry for you and the man's a bastard.
Yes, that's right. That was the bastard. Always the bastard.
Settle petal.
Did he have the thing about prison, if you're a man, you're probably a bastard. If you're a man with an English accent, you're definitely a bastard. No, on the show.
Oh, no.
Except for the doctor, of course. Who was,
Doctor.
he was before you.
Yeah, he was before my time.
Desiree Smith.
Yeah.
Next, we have a woman who was there at the start and there at the end. She was always hanging around. She knows probably the Wentworth prison inside and out. She played Lorna Young, Barbara Jungwirth.
Help her down the stairs.
my call as an NS, and that I was doing work anyway with dialogue, and I'm still there 8 years later.
As an NS, that's a
Non-speaking.
So I got dialogue, they found out what my
eventually you can
biography
speak.
was, yes.
Well, you hope so.
Oh, yes.
After all you were there to say.
Oh, yeah, I had a bit of, yeah.
Did you ever get to? Did you fight? Did you get to beat anyone up, or get beaten up?
I had an article written in the Vogue that said I was a nasty piece of work. And,
Sorry, you or Lorna?
yeah.
You were a nasty.
I was a nasty piece of work. Sorry.
No, I meant on the show.
I was Lorna Young and I was a nasty piece of
You
work.
were a nasty piece of work.
Yeah, Simon Hallgrave, that also, he went through the whole lot because Valane or V was being paroled
Right.
after killing 3 people. And I was there 8 years and nobody knew what I was in there for. You know what he came up with? He found out my bloody secret. Cannibalism. So watch yourself.
I'm surprised they didn't talk about that more in the break room.
This was just a bit of blockade.
So,
But
Lorna
I'm
Young,
so glad I found out why I was there.
Yeah.
That's all right, but nobody knew until he did. So let you know.
You one of these crew?
One of what?
These. You want the side of the
No,
side.
she had a
I know love on that.
Yeah, they did as much as but there was a sort of a, she used to sing, and I used to sing like one time in the place to start me off, you know, and there wasn't a bad connection.
I think that's yourself,
There were times you had to be scared of her.
Yes.
That was a whole thing. You had to be scared of her.
Well, I've met Val Lehman, and I was scared of her.
Yeah.
I've met her a couple of times, and I find her terrifying. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. Is actually say hello, Val. She's an intimidating woman.
She certainly is. Yes.
I mean, I was saying before how Louise is intimidating enough, but Val Lehman, you just...
Louise is all right. I'll see you in the Dunnies. Leave her alone.
I think it's a compliment, really.
Oh, really?
I'm just
No,
saying,
you played the role so much.
No, Val Lehman. I think she's got a natural intimidating presence. So I don't think
But I
it's
could
hard
turn it
to
on here if that's what you want to say.
I would.
You want to say that?
No one else could be there. Well, in Wentworth, someone else is the now.
One of the cats.
I'll let you go. Barbara Dunlop.
One thing I would like to say is that
Yes.
I do love the fans of Prisoner because they gave me 8 years of work.
Did you pass over a chair
Yeah, I
to
know
Barbara?
what you said,
Oh, sorry.
Okay, it's time for our second screw of the afternoon.
No, I'm just going to hold your hand up. Oh, thank you. No punch, you right?
Yes.
She's here to keep us in line. Marion Dimmick was Officer Radcliffe. Marion, you were Officer Radcliffe. Did you have a first name?
Andrea.
Well, I said
Andrew Swallow, we have an expert.
I found out as Jill.
You were Jill.
Yes.
Right.
But I didn't like Jill. I thought I liked Andrea. So after referring to myself as that for some time, I was Andrea.
You got to choose your own name.
Well, sort of.
Did anyone ever, do you know if anyone ever wrote in? Did they write to the Green Guide or anything?
Oh, I don't
What
think
is the
there
deal
was
with Officer
about
Radcliffe?
that.
She used to be Jill.
Yes, I know.
How long did you do on the show?
In and out for about 4.5 years.
So you worked alongside the Freak?
Yes.
Yes. What was that like? Speaking of terrifying women.
Imposing.
Imposing, yes.
But she's a ball of fun.
In real life, she's not.
Yes. A wonderful person with a great sense of humour, very articulate, and a wonderful general knowledge.
Really?
A weird Trivial Pursuit.
Did you play Trivial?
No, I
I want
didn't.
to imagine the officers of Wentworth sitting around playing Trivial Pursuit after.
No, we
Hopefully
played,
still in uniforms.
what's the other word game? I can't
Scrabble?
Scrabble.
Yes.
Scrabble.
Yes, Scrabble.
So the screws all played. Did you mix with the? Did you keep a separation? Like after work, would you refuse to speak to the prisoners?
I hope not.
Did that ever happen? No, the guards.
We mingle.
Was there a separation?
No.
A method acting thing?
No.
You've learnt to hate each other.
No.
We loved each other, didn't we?
Yes. Do you remember though, Marion? Paula Duncan always put on like Sand Through the Hourglass, that show.
Yeah.
And she was right into it. So it was such a nanny show to watch. Because my nan watched it. I just remember that at the beginning. And I remember Mum watching it when we were little, like, Sands Through the Hourglass.
So were the days of our lives. Yeah.
Were you ever in a riot?
I think so. Well, I know
You
that.
were.
I know this stuff. I probably hit you or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
Same, the right was like
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, Louise was busy
I
hanging
got very
in
good
the
at all those.
toner.
That's right.
She walks in and says, "What's all the racket in here?" And you go, "Latch," and she goes,
Yeah, that's
Boom.
right.
You know, it's funny because
Sorry, we're being a bit hard on Louise, I think.
She's only just stopped crying.
House husbands.
I'm only just recovering.
She's having deep breaths.
only for Lois, who was nervous, hitting me on the neck, we had to do a few shots.
Why don't you redo it now, Lois?
You get the feeling Lois didn't take to hitting people.
No, I hated it.
And when, as soon as they say cut, we'd be going, "Oh, you all right? I didn't hurt you. Oh, I'm sorry." We're such big girls, we really were. I mean, it was hard to do that.
But Lois, I said my boobs were very sore for a week with all that.
Inside information. Yeah. Incredible. Sore boobs. Barbara, everyone. Back to the bad seeds.
I'm all right.
Another old tag.
I know I'm a golden oldie.
Another old lag from Wentworth. You might remember hanging around behind B, glaring at people. Lynn Ford was Ronnie Kennedy.
5 years, yes. And when you're talking about being scared of Maggie Kirkpatrick, the first time they ever gave me speaking lines, I remember standing there thinking, I think I'm going to die here. And I said, Maggie, I'm really nervous. And she said, not on my scene, you're not so sure.
Where's the freak?
She was. And then she said, don't you worry.
Were you all right?
My blouse, you could see my part. And I thought, I really am going to die on this set. I know. I wanted mine, but now I'm too scared.
It must be, were you one of the good guys?
I was good sometimes, but I remember Amanda Muggleton, who played Chrissy Latham, and I did a fight scene. And I stepped in too soon. We both did, and she grabbed hold of my hair, and as I stepped in, she got me such a beauty in the stomach. I went, oh! And all the school kids from the school down the street had been brought in to watch, and they all went like this. And then Amanda went, I'm so sorry! I could just see the kids went, what are they doing? All that sort of stuff.
They brought school kids in to watch Prisoner.
Yeah, they did. I don't know how that
Goodness
happened.
me.
They did, yes. But it was good, and it was 5 years of great work and great friends, and all of the main talking cast were terrific.
Here you are.
Which was
30 years
here
later,
I am.
people still...
Yeah, we won't say how many years. I was about 12 when I started. I think
Yeah. No, you were just a kid.
Oh, well, I see. Well, this is true. It's lovely to see everybody, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to zoom forward a few decades here. Who watches Wentworth? Yeah! Brilliant.
Yeah, I love it.
It is a fantastic show. I love it. It's its own show, but it's got little bits of Prisoner woven through it. It's beautiful, beautifully done. One of the people who ensures that it's so beautifully done, is the next guest, script consultant for Wentworth, Kerry Tucker. As a script consultant, what's that involve? Inform us.
Well, the first series of Wentworth, a lot of it was based around my experience in prison, because I was in prison for 5 years. Yeah. That's why I think up there. So a lot of my creativity went into co-writing the first series, along with the wonderful Lara Radlover and Pete Newton.
So you're probably responsible for it seeming feeling so real.
Yes. Yeah, I would say that, absolutely, because the Lara and Pete were very, very careful to make sure that the authenticity was there, and also that the women in prison, their stories were respected, and they were respected as people. So, absolutely, a lot of the stories in there were based on actual experiences that I had, and around the characters themselves are actually based around real women that were in prison in the Dangerous Cross Centre with me at the time.
Are any of them based on you?
Can
you say? You can't say.
Yes.
Awesome. Is that awesome? See, I mean, I watch it and I think, wow, this seems like life. I don't know, I've never been in a men's prison, let alone a women's one. So do you think it's really captured that well?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It has, right down to, I was only talking earlier to some of the girls, if you saw the windows, the curtains are tied into little knots, and right down to the very finest, the language, whether someone could actually do that without going to protection. Very authentic.
Did on the original series, were there people who had experience advising you?
No, but some of us on our own, off our own back, went to the women's prison. Fairly.
I was taken to Fairly. I mean, not taken. That's a bad line. I didn't mean it. It was an accident.
That's what I said.
5 years, 1 day. But and it was very interesting. It no longer exists. I think it's gone now. Yeah. But it was really interesting.
I had been involved with a drama group, and we'd been out and worked with the women at Fairley and drama projects and things. So I had some.
And that still goes on with somebody's daughter today.
Does it? Yeah. So I had both at Pentridge with the male prisoners and also at Fairley. So I'd had quite a bit of contact myself.
So in real life you were Tom Oliver.
But so that's what you sort of
supply closet.
Yeah. Just sort of, like had spoken to people, and that was as much as I think as we got. Yeah.
How close do you think the original Prisoner got to real life? I mean, they had deficiencies in production values, and
the way
there was a limit to what you should actually show on TV back then.
Right. I think that for the time, for the time, I think absolutely, which is why it resonated with so many people. But certainly now, Wentworth is more reflective of Dame Prisoner.
It's got that.
Do they have walls that are solid? You have a fight scene with someone and push them up against a wall.
153 days to pick through one. They're solid.
That's what I like. One of the great things about Wentworth is you have a shot of the outside, and then you go inside, and you feel like that's a real building when you're inside.
Yeah,
I think didn't so much on Prison.
Well, we used to have the bigger guys, go stand behind the wall sometimes, so the floor, and to brace it so that when you had somebody and you shoved them against the wall, that the whole wall didn't go like this, because it was just a set. It was
what I always wondered about Prisoner is what was going on in the other blocks. I just wondered if you could do an entire series and find out that, like in D Block, everything was even more interesting, but we just never saw it.
Yeah.
Because I always thought you saw that, you'd have an establishing shot of this huge prison, you go inside and see
half a dozen
there are
people.
3 rooms.
Well, I can remember, was it you and I at one stage, I don't know whether those people in there can hear, I'll just come down. Louise and I were in a scene one day where obviously they hadn't written enough, so they had to extend the episode or something. And we was we're sitting in front of the television, or we're sitting somewhere, and we're like remembering.
Really?
And they showed a lot of somebody who's watched this episode. They had flashbacks. Yeah, right.
You did it.
I wasn't even there. I was never there. Like,
but you were saying about Lizzie.
That was Lizzie. Yeah.
Little whippersnapper and all.
So we just sort of, in our own head, we had to sort of make up, to try and make it realistic.
That's exactly
that we'd been in another wing. That's when we were, and that somehow or other we.
I remember watching that, and I was watching that, and I was shouting, "You weren't there!"
No, that's what happens sometimes. With the writers and the storyliners, they come up with a brilliant idea and just go with it. To us as actors, like they wrote a whole episode about us roller skating, around the corridors. I never roller skated in my life. I had brought up in a dancing school. My mother would never let me wear roller skates.
Lurch ever roller skating in her life?
No, well, maybe. No, not very well, because I couldn't do it. So I had to stand in the rec room. I had to stand in the doorway, and they pushed me. And they went action. Somebody was behind me and pushed me, and I sort of
fell in. Acting, that was real.
But fortunately, Lurch was.
Don't come across it. You're not even allowed to walk fast. You're not even allowed to even get up to a small trot.
Yeah, I've seen that in Wentworth.
You're not allowed to because it infers that there's going to be violence.
Oh, right.
So your job essentially is to make sure that if anyone
breaks into a trot,
sure that anyone who came into the writers' room saying, "Hey, why don't we have a roller skate?"
Yeah.
Sucked into the
Absolutely. Yeah. We got sucked down.
Okay. All the secrets of Wentworth come and ask Sherry about them.
because I'm obviously not there.
No.
Harry Tucker, everyone.
Pecky could roller skate, so they just wrote it on.
Last guest, also from Wentworth, is one of the incredibly tough, violent, scary ladies from the modern Wentworth. And I think you might, if you don't recognise her face, you probably recognise her one of her tattoos, I believe. It's Catherine Grinlaw. I think you're actually very important in that the show opens with a tattoo of yours.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
She is the bat of Wentworth. And you've been in both seasons. The season 2 is just about to start airing.
Yeah.
Season 1. Are you going to be in season 3?
Yeah, well, I've been asked back.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now, how many people have you beaten up or stabbed so far?
And do you need any tips?
A lot of them. And stab a lot of them, what they did, but yes.
Were you in Frankie's crew?
I was in Jax's group. Yeah, and then when she sort of got
condolences.
Yeah, I on the verge of Frankie. Yeah.
Well, where else is we got Frankie, or maybe you'll end up with I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, not going to say. I don't know. Sarah Lizzie.
Lizzie's lovely.
She's beautiful.
Are they all lovely?
They're using it.
Oh, in real life, they're absolutely beautiful people. They'll always come up and have a chat to you. Make sure you're all right, because usually I'm pretty crazy on set.
Christine.
And when you're quiet, they go, "You're all right, Catherine?" Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
And you guys can have a chat with Catherine. You can have a chat with all of these wonderful artistic ladies. Don't be scared of them.
like I am.
Can I just say I'm absolutely stoked to meet Barbara. Just in regards because we're both extras, and then she got a part and stuff, so I'm absolutely stoked.
I want to call you.
NS. We always used to call it NS.
Background artist.
Non-speaking actor. Yes. Non-speaking actor. Yes.
Except we did get to swear a lot when, during the riots and stuff. So.
But I always watch what the extras are doing. I'm glued to it.
Catherine Greenlaw. Okay. It's the 35th birthday of Prisoner, and we have a birthday cake.
Yeah!
For jumping
it's
here.
it's a birthday cake for the fan club, really. My wife Beck, she's over there. She made this cake. And the outside the roses grow.
Oh my goodness.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Get some photos. Buy some stuff from the buy-up. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
That's the brand. Thank God I only live by 7 minutes. Sorry.
Barbara.
I'll have to get a photo.
Marion. Everybody.
I'm waiting in the background.
Catherine and Carrie.
Jump in there, honey.
Yes.
Around behind it.
Yeah.
Get a photo. Just push Travis out of the way.
Okay, are we all in?
Yeah.
Go. Go on. Watch yourself.
Sorry.
The other way.
There we go.
Lovely.
Okay, everybody.
That's all right. That's good. Thank you.
Very quick on that,
I'm just removing that. I don't trust the Simon Hall for that one. Made that up, but it was worked.
Get it?
I don't know what I would have to talk about. Except for as far as Bee's concerned, when I first had dialogue with her. I like to, you're scared actually.